So here we go, looking at the lovely oven that we built with the ecological design students here at Hiram College a couple years ago. It's holding up quite nicely. So they've got a good coat of oil on it. They did ask me to look at putting a wider overhang on it, and that seems like a good idea. We might actually take and add half a sheet on either side of this metal roofing so that we can protect the sides without having them have to replaster or oil them regularly. So like this side right here on the north side, it looks like it gets a bit more weather. It's still holding up pretty nicely, but we'll see what we do next with that. The real concern is up here inside. We have some drips that have been running a little bit of our cob, soaking it and running it down inside of the oven. And water is really the enemy of cob. Here's our problem right here, is that this caulk has dried up a bit here. You see there's a crack here under our little shield or flashing there. And also we have this little bit of crumbly stuff up there. So first thing is we're going to get all of the really non-sticky stuff out of here. Then we've got some caulk. Put here. This is the high temperature, the 800-degree caulk. I know the other stuff isn't as brittle, but this is really the stuff. It gets really hot up here, so I'm gonna poke it under, let it kind of go in under our flashing. That's really important. This is going to look ugly until we smooth it out, and it's not going to really be stable until we smooth it out, but we got to get enough there to have it stick around. We'll build up a little more here. Basically, we want enough to not have any pooled water here. And that's a lot of caulk. I think next time we come out to do something else, most of this is just to get it through the winter without rotting any more of our cob inside. But when I come back out, we're gonna have to think of something better for up here. Before I run out of too much, I'm gonna get a bead around here. We just really want to keep from getting any water in there. We're going to come here and smooth out this bead afterward. I'm kind of doing this with one hand. Just put a little dam down here to make sure we don't get anything dripping in the side. If you get a buildup of ice, it can actually melt water and move it uphill in a weird sort of way. Look up ice damming on Google to get an idea how that works. Because that's a useful thing to know if you're building stuff and don't want it to turn back into mud. We're gonna come back around and smooth this all out, but first we want to, I was thinking at first that I wanted the ability to let any water that fell in get drain out the bottom, but looking at where the cob has failed inside, I've changed my mind. And I think we got a little bit of downhill action there, especially if there's some snow buildup. So downhill into the inside. So we just want to seal this all up. I'm sure this is longer than you were hoping for. Certainly a lot of caulk. Set this aside here. And it gave me this cool tool with this last caulk gun. So we'll see how this works. Mostly I want to get the caulk really well stuck to everything below it and smooth so that water doesn't sit and soak into it. So I'm just kind of work my way around. Looks like I could have done this with less caulk. Certainly would have been prettier. Mostly what I want is for it to not have a space where the water gets in behind it or under it. So this is it's a cute little tool, but it's new to me. So you may notice that my Lines are actually looking nicer as I work with this tool. It's a pretty quick learning curve, but there's still a learning curve to most things. There we go, that's looking pretty good. Filling these little marks, little divots there. Turn them into happy little birds, as the Bob would say. We're coming around the back here. We've got some goofiness that we really want to close in. I like this little tool. I should have some hold music or something going on while I'm doing the boring bit. Yeah, it's pretty ugly. But the point is to not have spaces that fill with water. Kind of want everything to run off. want it to all run off. We don't want any puddles. The puddles significantly lower the lifespan of this caulk. So we just kind of want to all run out. And definitely away from the cracks. Sorry about the big shadow where I'm working. There are definitely people with a better technique with caulk than me. I would love to see somebody do a video. Give us a better example of sealing with high temperature caulk. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Be the change you want to see in the world. If you don't like my technique, it's a point at which I don't care if it's ugly, I just don't want it to leak. So, I'll get this back bit here I couldn't see from the other side. And I'm gonna see, make sure we get smooth in there pretty well. Oh look, I got a little bit sticking out. I'm gonna fill that hole a bit. Is there a competition for boringest video on YouTube? Watching caulk dry. It's a new Olympic sport. Watching caulk dry. Takes longer than paint. Every bit as boring, but twice the time. Okay. That's a 20 minutes you'll never see in your life again. Want to see the next part? Let's fix some cob.